And welcome to Sessions with Stef. I'm so glad you guys are joining us. I'm happy to be back. It's been a while. We had a little bit of a Christmas break. I'm going to call it Christmas/COVID break because I don't think I know anyone who didn't get it. But anyway, we're back. We're happy to be back. I'd like to say we opened up our new YouTube channel, so that's going to be awesome. It's Sessions with Stef. We're going to search that out. We need subscribers because we've been using the Likumbari channel, so please go and subscribe, help us out. Let's get the subscribers up there on Sessions with Stef podcast. We also have Talk It Out podcast, and that's with Lisa, and you will get to hear Lisa's voice chime in and out. Here she is.
Hello.
There she is, the voice of God, like I call it. She's going to chime in and out as well. Part of the podcast. My podcast, Sessions with Stef. I love doing this. It's so much fun. I get to speak with musicians, friends, people that have worked in the business for years or that have just started. Some I know, some I don't know. Today is a special one again for me because it's someone I know very, very well. And I will be introducing her soon, but I really love it. You know, sometimes there's some people that I've interviewed recently that I hadn't spoken to in like 15 years. Our last episode was with Jewel McKenzie. It was literally 15 years since I had played with her. And then we got to talk about it and talk about times, music times, you know, things that we go through as musicians. But it's not only for musicians, it's for everyone because we're going to have a laugh. If you want to check out another episode I did with Emil Vidmar, it's quite a stupid episode and I love it because we were acting stupid and that's part of the business. You got to act stupid. Yeah, no, honestly, I really enjoy doing this. I do it because I enjoy it. So I'm going to keep doing it and I hope you like it. And if you don't, well, you better start liking it. Tell your friends. Like I said, Talk It Out, Sessions with Stef, Likumbari. And also we have a sponsor, our first sponsor, first of many, hopefully. I'd like to actually introduce her. She's here with us. Her name is Francesca Sacerdoti. And her company is called Fearless Sounds. Francesca, how's it going? I want you to introduce and sell your company because we need to get musicians linked up with you because you are going to sell them and you are going to do what you do best.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Stefano. I'm so glad actually to have the chance to sponsor Session with Stef because I truly support the local musicians and the local music scene. So it's so important. So my company, you said right, Fearless Sounds, because we all need a voice. Music has a voice and it's a strong one. So and I love when independent musicians try to raise their voice and to give us their lyrics, their music, and I love that. So that's what I wanted to do. I just want to help. And so my company is a small company. It's basically me and another person, another couple of person. But we truly believe in music. We love music. We deal every day with musicians. That's part of my life. Mm-hmm. And it's just a boutique company that helps a musician promote their music and their lyrics. And we do a little bit of everything. We can do managing. We can do promotion. Spotify playlist placement. I know it's a hard subject right now, but we do that, and we are we represent just a voice that you can talk with. Like we like to have a discourse about that and make it easier for everyone. So thank you so much, and I love Session with Stef, and I love all the musicians you've been interviewing. So keep up with the great work you're doing.
Thank you, and thanks for sponsoring us. It's great. I mean, this is what we need. We need to get it going now. Both podcasts, Talk It Out, Sessions with Stef, we need that going. Sponsors will definitely help because it's not free. It's not easy to put this thing together. Even though it's fun, it's still not free. We're gonna put your phone number. You'll see it on the screen. So guys, reach out, musicians, reach out, and she will gladly help you. She's amazing at what she does. Fearless Sounds. We'll put her social media as well. And now to my guest. So it's almost a repeat, but it needs to be a repeat because this, I don't know if I call her my bestie. I don't know. I don't know. She was the first interview because I work with her all the time. I enjoy working with her. I want to say I'm proud of her as well, because she really, really works hard. Guys, like, let's put our hands together here.
You always have to do this on camera. It's like, just makes me warm and fuzzy
December Rose, welcome back.
Hi, thank you.
Welcome back. Part of this podcast, you know, I interview people. I interview singers, musicians, keyboard players, whatever. But now I'm getting to the point where I want to have people back to update. Right? I wanted your update on this, because before you were my first episode.
Right.
And, you know, an album was about to come out.
Yeah.
And now the album came out. So I want to update everybody. And plus, you're my come on. I mean, I have to have a role. It's real. If she wasn't so busy, because I'm going to give a plug here. She has her own music school. She teaches. So I actually wanted her to co-host as well, because at the beginning, years ago, I was like, hey, let's do a little podcast. And you came up with the idea of in my basement or whatever.
Right.
But she's, you know, she has too many students. She's too busy.
Oh, just too much.
I hope she doesn't forget the little people when she's at the top. But
come on.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Stef.
Thank you for coming on again.
Thanks for having me back on again.
It's a blast.
It's amazing to see you haven't gotten tired of me yet.
It's no, not yet. I mean, and you know, we did quite a few hours of recording besides podcasts, music and videos and stuff like that. And I'm still not tired, and you're still not tired, because I know it's going to be the other way around.
No.
So you oh,
hi.
Yes, we have. Oh, by the way, we have another sponsor. It's Olivia. Olivia's she's part of the podcast. We have a little puppy here. Okay, so the album came out.
Yes, it did. It came out in August 2021. That felt like a lifetime in the making, but it finally came together and was released, and felt like the first body of work that like really carried my name and my message across to people the way that I wanted it to in like its entirety. It was my most liberating project so far, I'd say.
It's you. Can I tell you, the album is you? Like,
yeah, I was searching for that, like I'm glad that came across.
It did. It really is. I love the album. I mean,
thank you.
Okay, I'm
biased.
I'm a little biased. I'm not gonna lie. It's Rosemary, but I love the album. And you know what?
Thank you.
What gave me and the idea you came up with? I loved it because we recorded a live. So it was COVID, right? So this album came out. Yeah. And I'd like to say it's your life work.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And
we couldn't do an album launch.
Right.
So you came up with this awesome idea of recording all the songs live in studio.
Right.
How did you come up with the idea?
So it was kind of an impulsive decision, because of course, like, we were gearing up for the album, and I had to make kind of like a release plan and marketing plan and like all that. And in the process of trying to do this release plan, I was like, okay, well, there's a lot of uncertainty. Things had just started to reopen here in Montreal, but venues didn't seem to be like something that we'd be able to actually do. And I wasn't sure if it would be kind of like a waste to put together and fail. So I figured at that point that we would just do these series of live videos and at least use those for social media platforms to, you know, have content. We're in like that age of like mandatory content. So I figured like might as well kind of kill two birds with one stone doing that, film all the live series, use that on social media, and just like drag out the momentum of the album, I suppose. And I think that it really worked. I felt like it was a good strategy, and so far it's been proving to like, you know, be effective. That we're February, so it's been out at least 6 months, and I'm still able to like carry the momentum of the record and keep social media fresh and interesting and
new content.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I mean, I fell in love with the songs even more because we got to play them a lot with live band, which was a blast. And we got to record. And you know what? Usually my guests will sing a song or play a song. Tonight, we've done that. Rosemary has already sang on this podcast, and it's great. But today, I want to do something a little different. I just want to play a little snippet of the live version, one of my favorite songs. Sure. And there's literally December Rose YouTube. You search it up. You go subscribe to her channel. It's phenomenal. There's a lot of great content. But just to give you an example, and you'll see it on the screen, this is a song called Hot Damn. I'll just give you a little snippet. We can listen to like a minute
Sure.
of it or something. And it's so much fun. And let me tell you, when I say live, this was live. Like we did 2 takes of every song.
Yeah, it was a long studio day, guys.
So we did all the songs in one day. It was 2, maybe 3 takes.
Yeah, each song
Kind of thing. And the instruments were recorded all live while she sang, and we picked the best one out of the 2, and that's it. And we had like a couple of cameras going at the same time. But I mean, check this out.
Sister, I can't sleep, 'cause I know the mom is hurting when she weeps. Brother, 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 I confess that daddy takes a drink to loneliness. And I know, I gotta let it go. And I know, I gotta let it go. Why gotta make me cry? Pray up to the sky to wake me when it's all over. Why gotta make me cry? Better lullaby, just wake me when it's over. Hot damn, hot damn, hot damn, hot damn.
Oh God, I love it. Honestly, I think it's a blast here, honestly.
Thank you.
And if you hear the recorded version, like the actual album version, it's very well. I mean, it sounds like that exactly. But now there's a live element, and we actually, because of this, we performed live. We did 2 live stream shows.
Yeah.
And we did them because since we had to do this project, I had a blast. Can I tell you? This got me through COVID.
Oh.
Because we weren't playing. So this is what we did.
Yeah, we prepared this for a number of rehearsals just to like.
Well,
I mean, when we knew we had to get it done in 2 takes, like no pressure.
Yeah, let's say we did 3 rehearsals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
It's not that bad. That's not that much, but whatever. But we got it done, and I mean, I noticed the color coordination that I'm gonna throw. Like she thought about
Me,
outfits and all of this. But what was that? A 10-hour day? Was it?
No, like we shot for about like 4 or 5 hours. Shot and recorded for 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, it felt long. But no, we were there about like 4 or 5 hours, and then I'm sure there was like at least that much in editing time. From the with like three camera angles going and like filming it twice, like basically like 6 camera things going. So yeah, it was great though. I was really happy with how it turned out, and I thought it was a great added piece of content for the album.
And people get to see what it sounds like live. How you like they see the idea of what a live December Rose show, which I know is going to be coming soon.
Right.
Guaranteed it has to come soon because come on. This great music can't go unnoticed. It has to be performed. The minute COVID gets the fuck out of here, we can start doing some shows. I'm feeling that we're gonna have a couple of shows outside or something is gotta happen here because the music's just too good, and it can't stay hidden all the time. It's got to come out.
Oh, hopefully we'll have some opportunities to do that this year, and make up for last.
Would you do something like this again?
Of like what, like a live series?
Yeah, a live series.
Yeah, I think so. I like that just because it's I think that we're in an age that now that content creation has become like a lifestyle and a way of life even. It's really important that we're giving people like who we are, and I think that like if you're growing into that, there's not really like a great way to do that than to just like show up on camera. It's not really about like, I mean, I guess you could make it about things, but you build those relationships with people by them knowing you and seeing you, and be it in person or showing up on camera. But I think that this is a great way to just get them acquainted with like the human side.
Gotcha. Yeah. And you know what? The lyrics come out. The lyrics come out too. Like when people get to see videos all the time, and the videos are great. But when it's live and it sounds live, you see the emotion behind what you're singing,
Right.
and I find that that's important.
Yeah.
It's sometimes, you know, a lot of videos will have, this is like, when I say live, it's really live. It's like we did a show,
Right.
and it's the live cut of everything. So I don't know. I'm proud of that, and you should be, because vocally it sounds great.
Thank you.
Obviously, like you can tell, guys, check it out. The album, there's 10 songs there.
Yeah.
It's what did you get a feeling about playing with the live band? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more exciting to play with a live band than to play with a backing track or something, you know, by itself. And, well, I mean, when you play with your homies, you know, like, it's always a different thing. Like, it's always more fun to do it that way. So, no, it was just, it felt good, and I felt very optimistic about, like, looking ahead and what the live shows would look like, and hopefully that we get to, like, really present this live this year.
Yeah,
in,
no, we will.
in whatever show opportunity that we can.
And the best part is that we even did some old tunes. So this is the new album. It's great, but she has another album. December Rose has another album before that, with a lot of singles.
Right.
And we did not here, but we performed live a couple of old tunes, which was fun. I love it, man.
It's weird, like for me to do that, like to perform old songs, because after you've released them, you feel like you've maybe outgrown them. And it's like, oh gosh, like I wrote that. Like, what was I thinking back then?
And she's like, nah, I don't want to. And I'm like, no, we need to do this.
Like when you were calling some of those old songs, I'm like, oh, why?
But
like,
Lisa,
I don't relate to this
you
anymore.
were at one of the shows, right?
Yes, I was.
You saw one. Okay.
Yes.
I
was bopping along.
Yeah. Can you tell the difference between her newer stuff and her older stuff? Do you like?
Honestly, I think, look, I find in your music, there's a lot of maturity and there's a lot of levels of it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
It is you can see the change, and the change is not a drastic, it's a gradual, but you can see the buildup. And you can see that you have hit more of a comfort level with who you are as an entertainer and as a singer. So kudos, man.
Gosh, like,
Kudos.
that just like filled my heart with like extra love today. Thank you.
Are you still Are you still writing all kinds of shit?
Yeah, I mean, so like I think like part of why it took me so long, like to just add on to like actually what Lisa said, like why I think it took me so long to feel more settled into who I am as a creative, or like even as a person, is that I just like make stuff and I just like write stuff, and I didn't really have that kind of like creative vision before of like what I felt like December Rose needed to say. I just felt like, oh, well, like I'm Rosie, so like Rosie just writes songs and like talks about all kinds of things, but I hadn't made that association with like December Rose as the artist. And so I guess like this new album, Raise Your Voice, was like that first big step of like, oh no, December Rose has to make a statement, and like what does she need to do? So I'm always like writing stuff and like co-writing with people and just like collaborating on different kinds of projects, different styles, genres, whatever. And I love that because I like writing in different ways. But now I've like really been able to kind of funnel my attention into like, this is December Rose's message. This is what feels natural for her to sing, and this is what she'll get fired up listening to when she performs. So I guess that's the maturity that she's talking about, because now it just I do feel a bit more secure that, you know, if like somebody doesn't like my music, now I could take it. Now it's like, you know what, I don't like, I care, like thanks for your comment, but like I don't, because I said what I had to say.
Yeah.
Whereas before, if I was just like making stuff and had that insecurity about my material, like even if it was good, but if I didn't feel comfortable about what it was saying, then I would take every critique to heart. Like, am I bad? Like, does my music suck?
You know? Keep in mind, I'm going to tell you this because actually we were talking about it before. People just like to talk. People talk just to talk, and it drives me insane. But it's like whenever it comes down to music or art or something, people always just have to say, oh, it's good or it's not good. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't understand why, especially with music. It's like, oh, they're so good, or oh no, they're not good.
Well, I made this like video on TikTok about this actually, and I just kind of ranted for like 60 seconds about it. But basically, I blame American Idol because since American Idol came out, every Tom, Dick, and Harry like decided that they knew what
they-
a good singer was or what a bad singer was, or that just anybody could sing, or that if you were good it meant you should go on American Idol.
Yeah.
And I, you know, like I couldn't tell you how many times people would ask like, oh, you know, oh, like you're so talented, like why don't you just go on you know, Canadian Idol,
Yeah.
or go on The Voice? And it's like, thanks, man. Like, do you know what the audition process looks like?
Yeah.
Like, you think I haven't tried?
But before American Idol, I remember even just playing a wedding.
Yeah.
You're playing a corporate. People just have to say their 2 cents, and I don't mind. The thing is that people say, they're not good. It's like, hold on.
Well, so I don't want to say that, like, I don't want to use this word because, like, I don't think that it's like actually true. Like, it's not that everybody's jealous, because like I remember growing up, people be like, oh, someone's picking on you, it's just because they're jealous. And I don't think it's that. I just think that because like music makes everybody feel some type of way, people like put their identities in
They
that.
feel inclined to
Well,
comment on it.
because their identity is like tied into how they feel or like the kind of music that they listen to. It's almost like a thing. Like, oh no, I listen to rock music. Ew, pop?
Yeah.
I don't listen to pop.
That's what I mean.
So there's like this kind of like style thing, but they've attached their identity to that. So when you do music, you've done something that they were already too afraid to do.
yeah,
Like like it's like
They
everybody
want to.
wants to be a rock star.
But
Like
why,
you go to concerts, you
why
feel
do
alive.
people not? Why can't people just see, like, it's not my thing, right? It's just not my. It's not my preference of music.
Right.
Why do you have to say no? It's no good. You know what I mean? And I have this argument. My son, he's 14 years old, and I'm like, okay, he's 14, so I understand, right? He's like, that music sucks, you know. And I'm like, no, don't say that music sucks. Say it's not your bag. Say it's not what you like or what you enjoy. No problem with that. No one has an issue with that, because no two people are the same. So we all have our own preferences,
Right.
You know, I'm not a big lover of rap, let's say.
Right.
I don't say it sucks, because it's phenomenal how they write, and
Right,
lyrically
right.
it's amazing. Musically, it's different than what I enjoy,
Sure.
and it's still art, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it on, but I still admire it as music, and just because it's not my bag, it doesn't mean it sucks,
Right.
right? But people just are always inclined to say, it's like when it comes down to music, it's like they have to give their 2 cents.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think
weird.
that like if for sure music is subjective, so like it is hard to make an objective comment about it. But I think that some things could be objectively bad and objectively good.
Yeah, no, of course. There's some is just shit.
Some is just shit, right? But like, and I
guess
guess like in that respect, like for something to be objectively bad, like that's where you'd kind of like go down a list of criteria, you know, like was it smartly produced? Like do the arrangements make sense, or
is she in tune?
is she in tune? Like
How
does
about
she
that?
sound like she's hurting herself when she sings? You know, like
Yeah.
details like that I think could make something objectively bad. But in the way of like songs itself, like some of the worst songs written have beautiful acoustic versions that you're like, oh, I never would have like heard that song that
Yeah.
way. So I don't know. I guess it is really subjective, but like, yeah, that statement is just
It's just
asinine.
Yeah, I got you on that. Well, something else that came about, and I had a blast doing this. This was another day shooting. It was one song. And I don't know if I've ever said it's one. Okay, I think I say it's my favorite song to basically all the songs, but this song impressed me. Okay, and you guys got to check this out on December Rose YouTube. There's a song called "Not Sorry."
Again, trying to stroke my ego.
No, but honestly, because so this song she sent, I remember because I heard it before it came out. I'm the lucky one that gets to hear it. But she's like, check out this tune. It's a cappella. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Right.
I listened to the song and I was blown away. I think you told me
67.
So this song on her YouTube channel there's 167 tracks of just her voice. There is nothing else other than her voice. She does the bass notes, she does the melody, she does the chords behind it. The song is gorgeous. It's such a good tune, and it's all her. Like, I can't even imagine the time put into getting all those harmonies.
Right.
And-
Well, I gotta give credit to the other Stefano.
Okay.
Stefano Galante.
No, there's no other Stefano. That's a lot to get credit. No, I'm kidding.
I do have to give him credit because, like, yeah, we both worked on this, and it was just like, it was a challenge for sure. Like, one of the hardest like songs I think that we had to put together, just because it was time consuming and it was very precise and just to like break down, you know, the instruments into these different voice patterns that to make them, you know, sound like
Shit.
So it was long, but it was fun. I don't know if I would do it again. Maybe.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
So I remember I was playing a gig with my brother and Costanza, who, you know, we've all worked with. And Costanza's been singing for many years. Great singer. She's my sister-in-law as well. And I remember when this song had just come out, and we were doing sound check, and I said, listen to this. And I put the song on, and I just said, guys, this is just Rosemary and only her voice. And I remember my sister-in-law, Costanza, just like, the song starts, and within 30 seconds, she just looks at me like, holy fuck. Are you serious? I'm like, yeah. And, you know, someone who's in the business, who's been singing many years, she goes, wow, that is impressive. Hi, Olivia.
Hi.
That is impressive. And it's very impressive. And I heard the song and I loved it. And we had to do another, you got called from a company. They wanted to make a video.
Right.
They wanted to promote their video company, which was great. And we got a video out of it. We recorded a video, and you decided to do something a little different, because your video of Not Sorry is amazing, with all you recording all the parts of it. Phenomenal. Right. But we put together a live version with a band behind it backing you up. And I had a blast doing this, because we changed the arrangement a little bit minorly, but we kept the voices in there, because they're super important. I wanted to play a little section of it. I mean, and this will bring us back to, I don't know, what was it, last year?
Summer, yeah.
Summer. I mean, check this out.
Another COVID project.
Another COVID project. But check this out. The video is great.
Sorry for believing in love. Not sorry for believing. Sorry for believing in love. Not sorry for believing. Sorry for believing in love. Not sorry for believing. Some people want you just for show.
Guys, you got to check it out.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of missing my tan right now.
So you know, I showed this video just because I'm playing the guitar, right? You know that, right? I had to bring that in because, and let's be honest, Daniel is showing off on this one.
Of course,
he's our bass player, and of course, he had to show off with his bass licks everywhere. I'm just kidding, but honestly, I had a blast doing this song and doing the video. I don't know. I genius songwriting, honestly. And because when the songwriting is good and the song is good, you can do anything to it.
It'll still sound good.
And it'll still sound good. So props to you.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. So you're not sure about a cappella anyway. You're like, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, like it would be something to consider. Like, it wouldn't be a project like in the particularly near future. But
like, do you realize it took fucking
a
year and a half of tracks and harmonies to get that done? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I'll consider doing another one, but like not in like super near future.
Gotcha. Now, from all of this, even in better, because she keeps on impressing me all the time.
Oh, jeez.
She decided to do a documentary. How did you come up with that idea?
So, okay, so COVID started, what, 2020? All right, so 2020, I was hoping to have my album released. But that was ambitious considering that January 2020, I had no idea what was about to start in the world. And March, everything shut down. So at that point, like I had a few songs recorded, but most of them like hadn't really been finished. So my plans to release the record in 2020 was non-existent anymore. And I spent a lot of time watching Netflix and YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And so I came across the Justin Bieber docu-series, Demi Lovato's and like Amy Winehouse. And so I watched a couple of these, and I think like that point in 2020 just made me realize like that maturity that Lisa was talking about again. It was like, okay, well, I have all these songs, and like I had recorded well more than just 10, and I didn't know how to like pick the right amount to fit onto a record that would summarize my story, but I also didn't really understand like what my message to people was. And that's when I had this kind of like epiphany that it was, well, there is nothing, I don't have a shtick. Like I don't have like a gimmick for people to grab onto, to be like, oh, like I love her songs because she's so this. It was like, okay, well, it's just me and my story. And like the only thing that really separates me from anybody else is the kind of story I've lived. And I think at the end of the day, that's really like the thing that makes you different, is just because no one's really walked your path. Yeah. So I didn't try to like create a gimmick for people. I just figured like, well, I have a pretty unique story and I'm not going to fake it. I'm just going to tell it and go with that. So I think that those docu-series that I was watching kind of like inspired the idea of the transparency. And I was like, well, there isn't really a better way for me to connect with people in this time, especially, than to really show them my story. Yeah. And I wanted them to have backstory on the album, because like, I mean, when you release a body of work, like if you're not doing interviews and you're not like writing a bunch of blogs, like how are people going to know this, right? So I figured doing the docu-series would just give them a look inside of you know, the conversations that have been had on these video series, to understand like where I was, what happened, what things might have been like, and just to see if they could draw any parallels to their own lives, and then just listen to the album and feel like, oh shoot, like I hear her. Yeah. So that's where I guess like 2020 gave me the idea. We executed all this in 2021. And I have to give a shout out actually also to Factor for awarding me a grant to be able to make this possible. Because for sure, like it was a huge undertaking, and I wouldn't have been able to do it by myself. And I'm glad for whatever they were able to offer, that I was able to put this together and that it came out great. I think it really, you know, you're never going to summarize your whole life in like 36 minutes of a docu-series. So
it's 36 minutes, right?
36 minutes broken up in like, what is like six episodes,
right? Okay. So you basically broke them up to have it more content and like every week. Gotcha.
More content.
Do you have a full 36-minute cut of it?
Not posted, no.
Well, that's another
I could, but yeah, I really wanted to like release in like digestible bits.
Oh, for sure. No, but now after they've all been released, we
I could post one. I hadn't, but like, yeah, I could totally do that.
Well, I mean, I found it amazing. I watched it, of course.
I mean, he's in it. So.
Okay, I'm plugging the stuff I'm in. What can I tell you? It's part of the deal. Look, guys, I'm gonna show you the trailer. Check this out. I mean, it's a minute trailer, and it gives you pieces of all the 6. But it's phenomenal. I mean, it's interesting, and it's Montreal local artists. This is what it is.
If all of those 20 whatever years that were a disaster can bring something really fruitful, then maybe it wasn't such a waste. So I guess I'm kind of still hoping to change that perspective a little bit. I've got a lot to say. Tough love, baby, every day. My confidence is not where it should be. Not resolving this is gonna just make the process a lot longer. My mom was pretty scary, especially when she first started getting sick. I don't think any of us recognized her anymore. Always sad, always crying, always screaming. I made an album about real life and about what real life looks like for someone that's lived with someone that has mental health issues. It's not pretty. and I don't think it's supposed to be.
It speaks to such a larger audience. It's all about empowering yourself. And if that's not an anthem for these times, I don't know what is.
I can't tell you, it's well done. It's not just an iPhone little
No, there's-
blog,
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with iPhone videos anymore. Like,
No, of
people do
course,
great jobs
but-
with those. But for sure, it was not a cheap undertaking, nor was it like a cheap production. Regardless of your opinions about this video, but no, it was a great. I think it was a great thing to do, and I hope that along the way it helped like a couple people just like see parallels in their own lives. So in case it wasn't like clear, and for anyone that doesn't really like know what's going on, this whole docu-series and album was surrounding mental health and the recovery from kind of like living with someone that was mentally unwell, and just like the abuse through that, and what that was like, the effects of that are how they're like long lasting. So the album was really like a before, during, and after phase of this whole journey, really. And the docu-series was to kind of like, address, like paint out what happened for my immediate family, my dad and my sister that were implicated in this. One of my best friends, how he had to like, poor guy, like pick me up every day from dealing with all that during, like school breakdowns and whatever. And obviously you and like my producers that were actively involved in like really helping me tell my story, especially after the label split that I had, and just like restarting after a label split, which was like, oh God, that was just dreadful. Not because it was a bad deal or anything. It was just like, it's, imagine like getting let go from a deal, or like breaking off a record deal is like a divorce.
Yeah.
Although I can't relate to that either, but it's still so like implicated. You guys have like a lot of commitments, and there's marriage on the songs, ownership on the songs, and that kind of thing. And that's with any record deal. It's not like something went sour. It's just what happens. So rest in peace, Russ Reagan. That's a big reason why the deal ended in the first place, because he passed away during the deal. In any case, so 2018 was like the turning point. I had to restart, and so I had to rebuild. And so I was grateful to have the other Stefano and Jordan both really help me like figure out the songs, and like, no, these songs are actually gems. Like, even though they didn't work before, but like let's produce these. Let's tell these stories.
Well, part of the story is
So,
what I enjoy. I mean, and because people always look at, mental health, and it's great to talk about mental health. It's super important, but we always, nowadays we're talking about it more, but we always focus on the person who has the issue, right?
Right.
Talk about it. There's also the people living with.
Right.
And
those stories are not heard.
Those stories are not heard. You hear about, let's say, alcoholism is a sickness.
Yeah.
You always hear about the guy who came back and, went to AA and figured out his life and found, but you don't hear the 10 years of the spouse or the child or any family member that lived with that alcoholic. And I don't want to disregard the alcoholic or whatever it may be, the substance abuse. It's just, there's another side to it, and it's important because that's super hard.
Oh, there's a whole other group of individuals that have been suffering too, and not kind of like having their side of the story shared.
It's hard.
Oh, it's super damaging. Like, I think that as if you're someone that like lives with an illness or with an addiction or whatever it may be, like, your story is inspiring, especially like if you're committed to working through it and getting past that. It's super inspiring for people to hear that, and like, at least I'm inspired hearing it. Yeah. But for sure, like, I'd like to hear more from people that have been victims of that environment. Yeah. Because those are the ones that I don't hear about how they've recovered.
But that's what I'm saying.
And so it was kind of weird because like when I was making the docu-series, like I felt like I had to, I guess like my trigger for making it was feeling like I wasn't consuming content that I related to anymore. So I was trying to make the content that I wished I was seeing. Same with like the music that I write. Like I'm making songs that I wish I were hearing, or that I wished I had heard when I was like dealing with those issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think more other victims need to come out and just like,
Because it's mental health in the end. It's all under the same banner.
sure.
Because
Yeah.
you need to know how to deal with whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It could be anything. And sometimes it's not even abuse of substance, or it could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be anything. It could just be bullying, and it's
Yeah.
it's not done purposely. But
Yeah.
if you're the victim, and or the other person, you need help. You need to
Yeah.
you need to sort it out. Why are you being so aggressive? And
Yeah.
and the other person needs to know, why are you enabling? Because it's part of it, right?
Exactly.
It's a whole, like Al-Anon, which is for the the spouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great because they kind of show you and teach you that you're not the victim.
Yeah.
You are, but you have a say in it.
Right.
And
About
you're
how much you accept.
about
and-
how much you accept, and how
Right.
to enable, and how to enable without enabling, because it's part of it. You don't want to leave this person high and dry.
Exactly.
You care so much about them, but you can't be around to enable it. And it's talking. It's important because every story is different.
Yeah.
Enabling might mean so many things. For me, like, it could mean something different for you.
Yeah.
Enabling doesn't mean I'm buying you a case of beer, go drink it. and
Right.
It could be so many other ways, right?
Yeah.
And
I could be wrong, but like, I guess like I have like a bit of a new perspective on all this right now, that I feel the issue, like, yes, mental health is an issue, but it seems like a bit of like an epidemic, like everyone kind of has it now.
Yeah.
And I think that
That's
the
true.
issue is not fundamentally like mental health. I think it's the fact that we lack a lot of emotional intelligence.
True.
And without that emotional intelligence, like, you're not able to like you're not equipped with the skills to process your feelings. So then you just kind of like become mentally sick, because like you just have all these things that you think and you feel, but you don't know what to deal with them. And so like, of course, that's why you see therapists and you see psychologists and counselors, but they're overwhelmed. And I think it's because we're not like learning fundamental skills in school anymore.
True.
Like even just like cooking and like basic car mechanics, or like things like that. We don't really like learn those kind of life skills. And I think that emotional intelligence is something that is a life skill that you should be developing
Yeah.
from very young.
True.
And the better you can, if the more sensitive you can be, or like, I guess this is why meditation is so hot and stuff, right? Like yoga and stuff. If you're so in tune with your body, and like, that's great. And I'm sure that I'm not personally a fan of yoga. I just like never really got into it, but I can appreciate how it helps you focus and like discover things about yourself. I've found other ways of doing it just by like finding certain kinds of music that trigger like emotional responses, or hypnotherapy, and things like that brought me that realization. But for sure, I think that we need to better inform ourselves about how our emotions work. Like ask yourself those questions, like why do I feel aggressive? Like why do I drink?
Yeah.
Why do I feel the need to, I don't know, what's like a thing these days, people sending nudes, like whatever. Like,
All right.
no, but like,
Cool.
I mean, if there's like high school kids watching this, like ask yourself why. Like, I'm not shaming you or anything,
Yeah.
but like, why do you feel the need to do that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like genuine, just like, oh, whatever, I don't care. Or maybe it's like, I feel like I need to be validated. And like the issue it would be with the negative feeling of yourself.
You know that I started yoga 10 years ago? I put it in my head, I need to do yoga. Physically, I found for balance and strength, core strength, it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I even thought of when and how I was going to do it. I even got the videos, and I never do.
Bought the mat and
I bought the mat.
just there.
I even knew which time of day I was going to do it. Now
That's
I'm going to
funny.
start. And I think for the past 10 New Years, okay, I'm starting.
Right.
This is my yoga. I'm going to start. I'm going to do 20 minutes of yoga. I knew where. In the summer, it's going to be in the park, and I knew at what time. I never did it once.
Right.
I'm just
right,
FYI.
Right.
But look, that was heavy. But all of this is in the documentary. So I mean, all of this. It's part of. You can tell when you listen to her songs on her YouTube channel. You can tell where all of her songs, where they come from. and it's an amazing thing.
Thank you.
Now we got to lighten the mood a little bit because it's heavy, and I'm like, I gotta go drink another. So the first time you were on, you were in my first podcast. I loved it. I had a good time. But ever since then, I started a little segment, and it's called First Thought. You might kill me a little bit now because I didn't give you a heads up on this.
Okay.
But it has to be like this. So it's a game I do with everyone called First Thought, where I'm going to ask you something.
All right.
You're not going to look at it because then you're
gosh.
going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
Geez.
And you have, basically, it's the first thought that comes to mind when I say this particular thing.
Okay.
Okay, then I might make fun of you, but whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not looking.
Some are easy, some are harder. Then it's just
Okay.
stuff to.
Sure.
Know. Okay, so
Not looking.
we'll start off pretty quick, pretty easy. Favorite food.
Sure. Sorry, what?
Favorite food.
Pizza.
Pizza. You were gonna
It's
say
probably
pasta.
not, but that was the first thing I thought of.
It's not ice cream.
No.
Okay. This one will make you think a little bit more. Favorite movie. Why do I think Disney?
Frozen.
Frozen.
Frozen, baby.
Never mind. The song is kick ass. Is it Frozen?
It's
for
totally
real?
Frozen.
Oh my god! Now you know why I play the game. 'Cause it's totally Frozen.
That one was not a joke.
Let it go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. How about this? What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say Céline Dion?
Power of love.
Oh wow.
Power of love. I grew up with a VHS
Oh.
of all her music videos, and like I would just like sing to them and like
Together,
enact what she was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Céline Dion and it's Power of Love. Okay. She's a monster.
That's
singer,
just like, I don't know.
though.
That's
But she's a beast though.
she is a beast.
She is a beast. I saw her in concert and I was never a big fan, but I saw the concert and I was like,
Been sold.
she didn't move. That concert, it wasn't the Cirque du Soleil. It was It's All Coming Back to Me album.
Okay,
I'm talking
okay.
in the 90s. But man, that voice fucking bang, it hits you like what? Live. Yeah, she's okay. This will make you think a little bit.
Okay.
Favorite lyric of any song?
Ooh. Favorite lyric. Well, I guess the first one that comes to mind, because it's first thought, right? First thought would be Louis Capaldi, Someone You Loved.
Nice.
I thought that was really clever.
Okay.
And
You know, one of my favorite lyrics is your song.
oh,
If you want some ass, then what's
take a look at your face.
I love that lyric. That's my jam. Okay, this one's good. The Montreal radio music scene. What's your first thought?
Like of a station?
No, what do you think of it? The scene, the radio scene, the Montreal, like the local music radio scene.
Do I have to answer that question?
Yeah.
I have like very negative thoughts about that.
I know, that's why
That's
I wrote
why you
it.
asked me?
That's why I asked you. So one word.
Shit.
Love it. Yes. I actually, in one of my podcasts, I spoke about how angry I was at Montreal local radio station. Why aren't you playing more local music?
Yeah,
man?
well, they're never
What the
gonna.
fuck?
Whatever. I'm just not gonna say anything.
I was like, rock bands, and they're playing the same fucking Stairway to Heaven for the past 20 years. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. This one was interesting because I was talking about it the other day with, I can't remember who. Mm-hmm. What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say Madonna?
Entrepreneur.
Gotcha.
I'm not a fan of her music, but I super respect her ability to be like an entrepreneur, like artistpreneur really. She runs her shit, and like I aspire to be like that, just to like know everything you're doing A to Z.
You know what's funny?
Oversee your project and like have no one kind of like screw you over because you just like know your stuff so well. Like, oh yeah.
I had when I was younger, I had a CD, a live CD of one of the Madonna shows because I was impressed when I saw her show, especially the Blonde Ambition tour. She had like monster musicians in the band. I was like, oh, and the light show. It's a Cirque du Soleil show, like it really is. But I'm listening to the CD, and back then it was live. I was like, she can't fucking sing. She's way off. And I'm like, the fact that she can't sing and made that much of herself, like,
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like how I don't know. She's a marketing mogul. She's a
Yeah.
entrepreneur, like you said. Like I was blown away. Like, oh my God, how the hell did this happen? Like she can barely sing and she sold everybody on her being a singer. But anyways, impressive to
Right.
me. I don't know if you're one to go to a lot of live shows, but what's your favorite live show that you've seen?
Yeah. So like, ironically, I don't go to a lot of live shows. I'm not sure why, to be honest. I think it's just because they're loud, and I have hyperacusia, so like my
Gotcha.
ears, like it's just like painful to be in loud spaces for long periods of time. But the first live show I can think of that I loved, it was actually a tribute band for the Four Seasons.
Oh, nice.
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Cool, cool. Okay.
And it was at Place des Arts, and like that just blew my mind. It was
good.
so good.
Good. You should check out a few more shows. It's fun, man. I love it. It's, mind you, prices are. I have to say, prices are insane.
Well, that's like I didn't really like want to get into that, but like yeah, that's kind of the other thing is like sometimes if I'm gonna be spending like let's say I don't know like going to see like really great shows could cost like several $100s.
It's ridiculous.
And like sometimes like have to consider like that or my next single.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know that you need to like support your artist and like whatever, but if you're working on like a tight artist budget, like sometimes you have to kind of like you know,
I know.
make a few decisions that aren't
when
the
I was
best.
a kid, when I was a kid, I swear to God, we used to pay $30-$40 for a ticket.
Right.
I was at a different concert show every week. I was literally just going to shows, and some were
Yeah.
small venues, some were huge shows. But I went to see Gloria Estefan. I paid $60 or something.
Right.
You know, like it's ridiculous now. But anyway, all right, this one's a quick one.
Okay.
Quebec politics. First thought.
Garbage.
Okay, good. I love it. We're on the same page.
Garbage.
Prochaine
Prochaine for real.
Lionel Gru. Okay. Good. Here's a good question. Live or studio?
Studio.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah.
That's because you can't get the jitters out of the live.
Exactly. Yeah. I haven't gotten myself to a point that I feel like super at home on stage with my original stuff. I gotta specify. If I'm playing with a band and it's like a couple songs, like I don't really care. Like I can do it and I'm fine. But with original stuff, like there is something that's super extra vulnerable, and you realize that like people that are there that are coming for the show, they're listening
Yeah.
actively.
And you see this, eh?
I freak the hell out.
I
Like
see.
it's like,
I
oh
love
shoot,
it.
they're gonna hear every single mistake. And and so for that reason, I just feel like the pressure kind of like goes exponentially, and I haven't felt like I'm at home yet when I perform
The
my
last
things.
gig we did, the last one live stream that we did.
Yeah,
You felt you
I felt better. Like there was, you know, a fraction of the people in the audience, and then like the rest of them were virtual, and it's like even if like the virtual audience is thinking some type of thing, like I don't see that.
gotcha.
So I'm like, okay, you didn't really hear that mistake.
Can I say
Not
the story?
like there's a billion of them.
Can I
but,
say
you know.
the story when we were playing at the brasserie, and literally there's got to be 300 people in this place rocking out, all older people, and there was one younger dude way in the back,
Yeah.
and he was like, because you know we're playing to the crowd, the crowd is like older.
Yeah.
So we're playing like some of the disco stuff and
Yeah, and like Shania Twain
and stuff. And this dude just wants to hear like Dua Lipa. So
Yeah.
he's way in the back. One guy. There's like hundreds. The dance floor
Yeah.
is full. And Rosemary just zones in.
He caught my attention.
She zones in right on that guy. And he's going, nah, Dua Lipa, man.
Yeah, and like ruined.
Yeah. And she, like, I saw her whole persona just go, oh my God. Like, bro, who cares about that guy? He's probably on his 8th beer. And
Right.
you won't remember that he was even here,
Right.
And there's 100 people that are loving you, but she's focusing on that one guy.
Oh gosh, yeah. It was I couldn't shake it off. I was like, oh, he thinks that we're awful. And like that's all I could think of is like we disappointed him. Not like I needed his validation because we had 100 people there like having a great time.
Exactly.
And I know, but it was just like it totally burst my bubble.
But it also shows how much you care.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Right? No, how much you care. And that, no, because I don't. I'm like, dude, you don't like get the fuck out. What can I tell you? All right. Our last one of the first thought is called, it's not called. I'm going to ask you, best singer of all time.
Of all time?
All time, baby.
Ooh. Oh gosh.
Maybe male, female. You can do one of each if you really want.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Why am I so stuck?
Is it Whitney? That's mine.
Well, I was thinking about her, and I agree that like maybe on a skill level, like I super respect her. I'm not moved every time I hear her though.
Gotcha.
So like
yeah, maybe
that's making me hesitate about saying that.
when Bobby Brown came in the picture, he destroyed her. Maybe. Yeah. But whatever. We won't talk about that.
Yeah. Well, male singers, I would say that like someone I like enjoy most of their music, Michael Bublé.
Nice.
I feel like I'm blanking on anything like from your time.
Hold on. What did that? What did we have to
does
stop
that
from
mean?
my time? We're only 2 years apart.
Yeah, okay.
The age of the druids.
I'm only 2 years older than you. What are you talking about?
Girls wise, okay, I would have to give it to Kelly Clarkson.
Nice. Yeah.
Because I enjoy most of her songs, but also like I feel something every time I listen to her sing.
You like that country little twang.
I do love country music.
That's
I only
fun.
started taking appreciation to that in 2016.
Okay.
But then I became like, damn, this is great.
This is good shit.
Yeah.
I remember watching her on American Idol. You were probably just born or something. But
Yeah, well, I was pretty little at the time.
and I was like, and she was the first one. She was really, really good. No, she was. A moment like this is a great ballad.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that was good. I think I have a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you this because it's another little segment that I've done a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to have to use your brain cells are going to work again. Can you name me the worst gig ever?
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
Oh,
Okay,
it
she
still
already
gives me
knows it.
goosebumps.
Was I there?
No, you weren't.
Okay.
It still gives me goosebumps. Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
Tell me,
it's
tell me.
awful. Like I was asked, like I was like, I don't remember, 15, to play at a fundraiser gig at a church, and I
It's always the free ones that are
cringe.
the worst.
So anyways, so like there was no like I didn't have any musician friends that were gonna accompany me on the gig, so I was like, okay, I'll sing a song and I'll sing "Make You Feel My Love" from Adele.
Okay.
Because I loved her. And I was like, yeah, okay, like the piano doesn't seem that complicated. Like I'll just accompany myself. But like like I have experience. Freaking 15. So I show up at this gig and like they're like, oh, don't worry, you know, there's gonna be a piano there. So okay. I show up and like, yeah, there was a keyboard there. It wasn't 88 keys, it was just like a 40 something or whatever.
One of those little.
It was a little keyboard. So I noticed that and I sit down and like I'm like my hands are sweating, like I couldn't like keep my fingers like on a note on the piano because they were so sweaty and just like shaking. So I started to sing and like my voice was shaky, and then at some point like the keys just took over. Like I made so many mistakes on the keyboard that I had to stop singing, and all I could do was see my sister in the corner of my eye and in like the pews.
Not looking
she
at you.
sunk into the seats like hiding herself, and I think both my parents just like looked the other way like that's not my daughter. And I said to the crowd, like, let's take it from the chorus in a Texas accent or like some kind of accent. And there's no chorus in that song. So then I restarted and like then just like at some point I stopped again, closed the book, walked off stage, and I like left the room. And it was like I can't save myself from this. I still cringe when I think about it because it was just like it's over.
Nothing is worse.
It's
than that
over,
feeling.
ciao.
Once you start and it plays in your mind, like, oh my god.
No, it was so cringe.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's hilarious. Wow. December. I don't even know what to call you. Ro. Her name is Ro. To me, it's Ro. Thank you very much. Obviously your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so if you guys were entertained by this and want to follow the journey and want to continue to listen to new content, you can find me decemberrosemusic.com, and all the social media platforms are December Rose Music and plugged up on the website, so you can just click a button and find it.
What about your social media handles?
All on the website, but it's December Rose Music.
That's the one. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. I'd like to thank Rosemary once again, December Rose, for coming on with me. And this journey is amazing. I love it. Talking about the great music. Thank you, Lisa, for being here. Sierra, thank you for helping out here. This is awesome. And for manning the cameras. Look at her go. Francesca, thank you also. Fearless Sounds. Guys, please subscribe. Tell your friends, have them subscribe. If they don't, punch them in the face and then tell them they have to subscribe or do it for them. Whatever it takes. Let's get the subscribers going, guys. Thank you for listening. Till the next one, it's coming out soon. So December Rose, once again, I'm Stef from Sessions with Stef. Lisa, have a good one. All of you, have a good night. Thank you. And ciao till the next one.